in Boston, and candidly, it couldn't have gone worse. What does the future hold for this superstar and his team? And then, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for LeBron in LA, the Lakers hit a new low. What does this mean? Could he possibly be on his way out? We've got answers. Time to get up right now. So delighted you've chosen to start this Thursday morning with us. My Uncle Seth is here, and Ryan Russillo picked the right day to come in from LA and talk about basketball with us. Holy smoke. Only everything in the world that could possibly be going on is going on, and we'll start with the game of the night, and we most certainly will not end there. To Oracle we go for the most important game to this point of the NBA season. Kevin Durant and the Warriors taking on James Harden and the Rockets. Game 5, even 2 games apiece. Here we go, pick it up second quarter. Rockets are down 13 points, and the Warriors are out and running. Look at that pass. A dime. Durant. Curry. Yes, plus a foul. Warriors, a 12-0 run. Open up a 14-point halftime lead, and they're loving it. Now, here's the moment. Third quarter. Warriors up 1. Durant, sideline. Watch him after the bucket goes in. Look at him looking backwards behind the leg. How many times have we seen that? Like someone kicked me in the back of the leg. We hear that all the time with the Achilles injury. Important to point out, no indication it is that. They're saying it's a calf strain. That can be a lot of different things for a player. But obviously, in this moment, a bad loss for the Warriors. He wouldn't return. Here's what Steve Kerr said he was thinking when he saw the injury happen.
He kind of looked back like he had been kicked or something. I've seen that before with guys who have hurt their Achilles, and so that was my first question, and I was assured that it's the calf. It's a calf strain and not the Achilles.
So there's your diagnosis. Calf strain, not the Achilles. We'll get more on that in a moment. He would not return. So it would be on Steph Curry to heat up. Oh, and heat up he would. With the Warriors down 2. He drills the 3. Now they're up 1 and still up 1 here. They work the switch. They get him on Capella. Capella doing everything he can defensively, but you can't stop that. Tough 3 from Steph. Warriors take a 4-point lead. We're still in the fourth. Rockets now down by 3. Draymond Green draws an offensive foul on Chris Paul, but watch. Little push, little shove, little fireworks. Oh, and Draymond gets attacked. Draymond Green gets a technical foul in a big moment. How many times have we said that? You see it there, probably well-deserved. And so we go. Harden would make the technical free throw. Next time down the floor for the Warriors. Redemption, thy name is Draymond. Look at him knocking down the 3. Warriors lead by 5. He's fired up. The emotional leader of the Warriors leading last night. Under a minute to go. Rockets down by 5. James Harden hasn't taken a shot from the floor in the last 9 minutes. That's his first field goal attempt in the last 8:58. He would finish with 31. So now they got a foul. They're down by 3. They got a foul. They're down by 3. They've got a foul. They're down by 3. But hold on. Maybe they're going to get a steal. Maybe Klay Thompson steps out of bounds. We'll give you a closer look. In the end, they almost wind up getting it back at a 1-point game, a 1-possession game. Instead, Klay Thompson with the dagger layup, and that would be all she wrote. Take another look here. Klay Thompson falling out of bounds. Is the foot out before the ball leaves his hands? We await the 2-minute report. One way or another, Klay, 11 of 20 from the floor, 27 points. Steph Curry comes up big when they need him. No KD in the fourth, but the Warriors hang on. They win the critical Game 5, 104-99.
You lose your best player, it's deflating. But we got a lot of competitors on this team who play with great heart. And guys stepped up.
I don't know if you're a soccer fan, but Liverpool yesterday came out with just one of the great wins in soccer history. And after the match, their manager Jurgen Klopp said, the young kids in Liverpool are probably asleep by now. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it, but our boys are giants. That's what he said, and I know how he feels. So I apologize to my mom, who is probably watching, but our guys are giants. Like, that was an unbelievable victory tonight.
Steve Kerr's name still trending because of those outstanding comments afterwards. All right, so much to unpack here. Let's start with Woj, our insider extraordinaire. And Woj, we recall the series between these two teams last year turned on a Chris Paul injury. Now we see Kevin Durant with the calf. What is the very latest?
Greeny, he'll get an MRI today in Golden State, and they'll find out the extent of the injury. But I don't think there's much confidence. Certainly they're going to have him in Game 6 or perhaps even again in this series, but that remains to be determined still today.
Yeah, Game 6 is Friday. Game 7, if there is one, would be Sunday. And so what are you hearing from inside the Warriors as far as their expectation if they are without him? What sorts of comments were you hearing coming out of there yesterday in playing without him and probably needing to do it again?
Well, listen, I mean, this group has won. The group without Kevin Durant has won a championship. They've accomplished a lot. And I think certainly, listen, Steph Curry said it last night. He's carried them in the postseason, but this is a very capable group. They have enough to go out and win one more game in this series, and then get to potentially a conference final against the winner of Denver, Portland. But I don't think you're going to see a group looking around the locker room afraid of playing without Kevin Durant.
All right, well, stand by because we have any number of other things we want to get to with you. But let me take it out here to the table again. Game 6 would be Friday. Game 7, if there is one, would be Sunday. A calf strain can mean so many different things, from the most minor of it being something in the neighborhood of a week to a more significant strain being something in the neighborhood of 6 weeks. So we will await the result of the MRI. Having said that, what is the biggest thing you took out of this game last night, Ryan Russillo?
Steph Curry totally changing his game within the game. The first quarter, he was deferring. He didn't take his first shot until 6.5 minutes in. Really only took 3 shots. Then he was just flat out terrible in the second and third quarters, and it started happening again. You're like, what is going on with him? But once he realized he had to play a different way when Durant wasn't coming back, he was crisp, he was decisive. When he had the ball at the top, he had a plan. When he got the switch he wanted, he would abuse Capella. It reminded us of the Steph that was on Golden State pre-KD.
You talk about Steph Curry. You're talking about a team that won 73 games without Kevin Durant. He was Batman, and Klay Thompson was Robin. Well, all of a sudden, they had to go back into those roles. And we killed Klay Thompson the other day. Said he disappeared. He wasn't productive. Klay Thompson was not good. He was absolutely terrific, and he did it in the first quarter, and he did it at the most important time in the last quarter. You think about how that game started. Draymond Green finds Klay Thompson on a little curl right there, and that shot right there got him going. Once he saw that ball go in, he was shot ready. He was catching the ball down. He knocked down threes in transition. He played off penetration. He made play after play, and then in the fourth quarter, he plays all 12 minutes. And you saw that Draymond Green 3? That was a product of Klay Thompson getting in the lane, kicking it out. He has 7 points in the fourth quarter. He made the plays that needed to be played. But their roles changed. As soon as KD went out, all of a sudden you have Steph Curry. He becomes Batman. And now Klay Thompson, once again, gets his new role. He's not the guy playing off 2 guys. He's the guy playing off of 1. And I thought that those guys, they rose to the occasion. But here's the deal. In that moment in time, the adrenaline rush of saying, we've got to take over. Now you've got Houston a couple days to prepare for playing without Kevin Durant. All right, and what are they going to do defensively differently? And what are they going to do offensively differently? So that next game is going to be interesting.
Durant has been the best player in the playoffs to this point, I think. I mean, his statistics are off the charts.
Yeah, I mean, the only one even in the conversation is Kawhi.
It's Kawhi Leonard.
I agree with
so
you.
He's been that good. So, yes, they have a lot of other great players. But let's live in a world right now where he's not coming back before Monday at soonest. What happens in this series?
Seth makes a great point there, because now 2 days to prepare for Golden State's offense without Durant, what Houston's going to do. I mean, they've been selling out at the top and trying to muck up all that stuff already with Durant. It's going to be even more aggressive. Now, having said all that, seeing Curry turn back into Steph Curry in the playoffs in the fourth quarter, giving me Golden State with 2 shots at this, I still think Golden State can win this series and move on to the conference finals.
I like Houston. I like you. I think Houston looked at that as a lost opportunity. I like their toughness. I like their versatility. I think that was 1 or 2 plays away from basically being in position to close out at home. I like Houston to win this game.
Now, here's what we're not talking about and is getting sort of buried underneath all of this because of the injury to Kevin Durant, and that is James Harden had one of those complete disappearing acts. There were 6 players that attempted multiple shots in the final 9 minutes of the fourth quarter yesterday, and he wasn't one of them. 8 minutes and 40 seconds of game time elapsed between his final 2 field goal attempts. So, Seth, I'll come to you. What happened to James Harden in the fourth quarter last night?
Well, first of all, Chris Paul had 4 more touches in the fourth quarter than James Harden. But I think it's what Golden State did. It's easy to load up on Harden because he hasn't closed out games in the NCAA tournament. But look right here. All right, they doubled Harden, every single possession, they committed a second defender. So what do you have to do? You got to make the right play. They're taking the ball out of his hands. You can't make a play when they run a second defender at you. So what do? You make the right play. Those guys have got to finish. So it's easy to dump on Harden, but in my opinion, you've got to give Steve Kerr a lot of credit because he said, you know what, we're not letting Harden beat us. All right. He deferred a little bit to Chris Paul, but we're not letting Harden beat us. So you know what we do? Every ball screen, we're going to blitz that ball screen, force a short roll, make Capella a playmaker, or commit a second defender on penetration and get the ball out of his hands.
Are we giving Harden a pass?
Well, I'm not. That one attempt was when they gave him a layup with 18 seconds left. So we really would be looking at the last 7+ minutes that he re-entered the game in the fourth quarter were 0 field goal attempts if they hadn't given him that layup. You're right about how they sold out against him. We even saw earlier in the series, Seth, where they were trapping him late in the game just to give him a different look. But it's tough with Harden because we have evidence of these complete no-shows in some of the most important games. So as great as the numbers are, as great as his season is, we all understand how incredibly talented he is. For somebody that you're so scared of as an opponent, just figuring he's going to get a foul call half the time, to not ever decide to finish at the rim and see if the refs are going to give you that call. Like he's had these moments, and it reminded me again of that last night in Game 5.
There's a lot more to get to with this game, and we will continue to. But, oh, by the way, the Celtics season came to